Remember when you were a kid and your parents told you South Park was bad for you? Crude behavior, and it would be a terrible impression for young minds. Well, I got news for you boomers. South Park cares more about human rights violations than the dang NBA. Last week, South Park aired the episode Banned in China. The prophecy then came true, as the episode and the entire show was then banned in China and scrubbed from the Chinese internet. In maybe the greatest TV prediction of all time, South Park featured James Harden on a plane on his way to China to get some of that China money. A few days later, this would happen. Yes, the GM of the Rockets tweeted support for the people of Hong Kong and the terrible human rights violations that are occurring. Now, I'm not going to pretend like I understand all of this or get political or something, but here's the gist of it. China is literally using concentration camps and harvesting people's organs. Oh, is that not enough for you people? You need more? Everyone always acts like they're so high and mighty when they talk about the Nazis in World War II and how they would have done more to stop it. Well, the news I have for you is that it's happening again right now in China, and people don't give a shit. In fact, the NBA would rather turn a blind eye and make a buck than to stand up to these terrible things that are happening in their country. I wish I could have been a fly on the wall when the Chinese government watched the latest episode of South Park.
I'd never been to China before, but I hate to say, I'm a little disappointed in all of you. What I've seen, you seem to treat your people like dirt. You don't believe in any individual freedoms. A country ain't nothing unless it's got decency and integrity.
The irony in banning the show after the episode I'm sure is not lost on them, but they seem not to care at all. Here's what a poster on our South Park from China had to say about the episode. I am a Chinese and watched Banned in China today. They are really telling the truth. It's lucky for me and my surrounding people that we aren't in the situations such as the concentration camp that the episode shows, but it is happening. In China, you might die in prison with no one knowing for criticizing China's Communist Party. However, most of the Chinese totally have no idea about that, and they even think the episode is ridiculous because of the brilliant information blocking skill of the Chinese. Maybe you've known that the Chinese banned almost everything that might have any negative effects to the ruling of the CCP, including social media that won't cooperate with the CCP censorship, even Steam community. We have to pay at least $2.50 for a VPS to use Steam Guard in China, and almost every online game has an isolated server for the Chinese, run by Tencent or NetEase. However, we have got used to everything in China thanks to brainwashing educations, and most of the Chinese feel happy living in China because the socialism iron fist has not yet hit them yet. Thank you, South Park, for letting the world know the terrible situations in China, though it hardly has any impact in China mainland because the whole season 23 was banned in China. Thank you for reading this, and sorry for my unnatural English. South Park predicts the future again. James Harden and the NBA wants the China money, and they aren't the only ones. In epic fashion, after James Harden released an apology to the Chinese government, I can't believe that's a real sentence, Trey Parker and Matt Stone released their own apology. Like the NBA, we welcome the Chinese censors into our homes and into our hearts. We too love money, more than freedom and democracy. Z doesn't look like Winnie the Pooh at all. Tune into our 300th episode this Wednesday at 10. Long live the great Communist Party of China. May this autumn sorghum harvest be bountiful. We good now, China? I think compared to James Harden's apology, this one was a little more eloquent. South Park cares more about the human rights violations than anyone else right now. More than the NBA, more than Disney, more than our own damn government. We truly live in a crazy world right now. I can't wait to see what happens next. Tune in for the 300th episode this week. I'm sure it's going to be a crazy one. See you next time, guys.